I didn't expect that flight to change my life. I thought it would just be another Tuesday, another upgrade. I paid too much for another 6 hours in the air where I could shut the world out and let my brain cool down. I boarded early, found my seat. One, a window side. First row, the quiet spot. I remember thinking finally, some peace. I pulled my hood up, leaned my head against the seat and exhaled like I'd been holding my breath for years. That was the mistake. Because the moment you look comfortable in a place some people think you don't belong, they take it personally. I hadn't even buckled in when I heard it. Hey, hey, loud, sharp, annoyed. I ignored it at first, hoping it wasn't aimed at me. Then a finger tapped my shoulder, not gently, more like a poke you use on a broken vending machine. I slid my headphones down and looked up at a man standing way too close. Late 50s, maybe expensive suit. Red face, that confident posture of someone who's never been questioned in his life. He didn't say, "Excuse me." He said, "You're in my seat." I blinked, checked my phone, checked the seat number above me. 1A, my name, my ticket. I said, calm as I could, "I don't think so." That's when he smiled, not friendly, more like amused. Like a teacher correcting a slow student. He told me he always sat there, that he flew this route all the time, that the system must have messed up by putting me there. Then he said the part that stuck with me. Be a good guy and move to where you belong. I've heard versions of that sentence my whole life. Different words, same meaning. I felt that familiar heat in my chest, but I swallowed it. I told him I paid for the seat and I wasn't moving. He didn't argue with me. He looked past me and snapped his fingers at a flight attendant. She came over fast. Blonde, polite smile, but her eyes went straight to him first. He explained the problem. She nodded before I even spoke. When she asked for my boarding pass, I showed her my phone. She stared at it for a second, long enough to know it was real. Then she looked back at him and I watched her decision form in real time. She said there must be an error. Said he was a priority passenger. Said they'd find me another seat. Economy plus. Said it like she was doing me a favor. I laughed, which probably didn't help. I told her how much I paid. Her smile vanished. Her voice got louder, sharper, meant for the whole cabin. She said I was holding up boarding. Said if I didn't cooperate, she'd call the gate supervisor. I remember thinking, okay, so this is how it's gonna go. The supervisor showed up with that walk, chest out, jaw tight, enjoying the authority. He didn't ask questions. He didn't check the manifest. He saw my hoodie, my skin, my refusal, and that was enough. He told me I was being disruptive. Said the other passenger felt unsafe. Unsafe. I was sitting quietly in my seat. The man in the suit leaned back with a satisfied little grin. Then he said it. That word. The one you can't unhear. The cabin went silent, like everyone collectively held their breath. I looked around. A lot of people suddenly very interested in their phones. No one said a thing. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about the seat. It never was. They'd already decided who I was. Logic wasn't getting me anywhere. So I stood up. Slow. Deliberate. I took my bag down, looked at all of them, and said fine. I'd leave. But I told them to remember the moment. To remember how easy it was for them to be wrong. They escorted me off like I was a problem they'd solved. As soon as I hit the jet bridge, the noise of the plane faded and something clicked in my head. I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't even that angry. I was clear. I pulled out my phone and called a number I rarely used. I explained what happened, where I was, who was involved. Then I said one sentence that changed everything. Trigger the clause. 5 minutes later, the plane wasn't moving anymore. I watched through the terminal glass as the engines shut down, lights flickered, and confusion spread. Back inside, the man in the suit was celebrating, ordering champagne, talking loud about standards and class. He had no idea. I walked back down the jet bridge this time with the station manager beside me, sweating through his shirt. The supervisor tried to log into his system and couldn't. Locked out. When he turned and saw me, his face went pale. We stepped back onto the plane together. The flight attendant dropped her tray when she saw me. Glass everywhere. The man in the suit jumped up, yelling, threatening, name-dropping executives who didn't work there anymore. I told him that, calmly. I showed him the news alert on my phone. The headline with my name on it. That's when the room changed. You could feel it. Fear replacing arrogance. I told the captain he was fine. Good record. Solid career. Then I turned to the crew. The attendant tried to explain, said she didn't know. I told her that was the problem. She judged based on what she saw. I told the manager to update her status. Terminated. Effective immediately. She cried. No one defended her. The man in the suit tried to apologize next. Offered drinks business a conversation. I told him no. I canceled his loyalty account. Wiped years of miles with one tap. Banned him from flying with us. When he refused to leave airport, police escorted him out, yelling the whole way. Watching him lose that power felt less like revenge and more like balance. I apologized to the passengers for the delay. Comped the flight. Told the captain to take us to our destination. I didn't go back to 1A. I sat near the cockpit. That seat didn't feel right anymore. The video went viral before we landed. Millions of views. Everyone had an opinion. Some people said I went too far. Others said not far enough. Meanwhile, the fallout started. The attendant couldn't find work. The man in the suit lost Deal's membership's friends. Turns out, when your reputation is built on looking important, it doesn't survive being exposed. Months later, I was walking through another airport when I saw a kid with a beat-up guitar case begging an agent for a standby seat. He looked desperate. Broke. Hungry. The agent helping him was a manager doing a required shift on the floor. The flight was full, except for one seat, 1A. He printed the boarding pass and handed it over. First class. On the house. Told the kid to remember how it felt. That's the part that matters to me. This was never about humiliation. It was about correcting a system that mistakes appearance for worth. About reminding people that power doesn't always look the way you expect. So now, I want to hear from you. Was the response justified, or was it too much? Have you ever been judged by how you looked or stayed quiet when someone else was? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it because stories like this only matter if we actually learn something from them.